Did you ever get the fear those dealers were coming after you?
I had dealers coming after me all the time. So then we had to go and sort them out before they sort us out. So we'd go and wrap them up. So there's nothing in between. There ain't no scrap. It's either he's getting killed or we're getting killed.
Yeah.
I was telling you about my mate Tuffy.
Yeah.
They call him the Grim Reaper. I can't even mention stuff on air with me and him, but he is nuts. I've got like two sides. Yeah. Kill everyone or be killed. Like, I didn't care whether you killed me. I literally beat the fuck out of nearly everyone in my area. I was smashing people up. I was drinking. I smashed my sister's whole entire house up and everyone in it, going through people's doors with axes. I was mad. I was just like, mate, am I mentally fucked in the head? Yeah. I feel like I don't want to be here anymore. I'm sick of it. Like,
how many years were you in that boarding school for?
I don't know if I can talk about this. Do you know, this is, for me to say this as well, is massive. Oh, fuck me.
Steve, welcome to the show, mate.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Let's roll all the way back, Steve.
Yep.
Where did you grow up and how did you get the nickname Crazy Steve?
So I grew up in Roos Hill. Well, I was born and bred in Wallbarks in Reading. So I'm like Reading born and bred. And then I lived in a place called Winnersh, which is a little council estate over there. And then we moved to a place called Roos Hill, which is in Wokenham. Yeah. It's just a council estate. Mm. It was half a council estate when we first got moved in there, and then they built the other half whilst I was living there, you know. Mm. So and then yeah, it just. But what was schooling like for you growing up? It was a normal sort of school. Went to school. Everyone from the council estate, we, you know, just naughty kids really. Like we were just going to school. Went to a place called St Paul's. Yeah, it was kind of like just like a normal school really. Apart from like at the end of school we'd have punch ups and whatnot, but we were just little kids. Yeah. I think every kid from our estate was scrapping each other at some point. Or like I remember when they was building the other council estate from Serious Close, like the newer bit we called it. There was all mounds of mud, and we'd like just hide behind it and chuck stones at us and stuff, like, and think it was funny. Do you know what I mean? Cutting out each other's heads and stuff. But
and what was your childhood like growing up?
My child was alright, to be fair. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think back then, because it says in my book and stuff like that, but back then I think all dads, like, and all mums were kind of like in that era. Like, my dad got hit by his dad got hit by his dad, and like we was not, we all get hit by my dad. Yeah. A lot of people think that's it's a bad thing, blah blah blah. But I just think like that was just normal, and you were allowed to hit your kids back then. Yeah. Not allowed to hit your kids now. Yeah. But yeah, it's other than that, like I went home from school, if I was naughty, my dad would give me a slap, do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And then it was quite normal, really. It wasn't really my upbringing from my mum and dad. Like I know they wanted the best for me and stuff like that. It was my, it was when I turned like 10, turning 11, when I got put in boarding school. That's when my life went from that to fucking that, do you know what I mean?
So you went to boarding school at the age of 10, did you? How come?
So I got expelled from a school called Embrook. I went in there. I don't even think I was that bad, to be honest. But I've actually got a report in my book that's coming out, and it's the report that says all the sixth formers are doing their like exams, and I'd been in trouble because I turned all the power off. And back then, if you remember, the computers were like tape machines. They weren't like if they turned off, like you ruined everything. Yeah. So I just switched all the power off. I don't even know why. Just ADHD kid, do you know what I mean? So I switched all the power off, and then the next minute they've come out and gone, you get here, do you know what I mean? I'm like, right, go in there. And they put me in the sixth former room. And they had a Bunsen burner tube with a bit of pipe on it, and I just turned it on, and I was just like flicking it. And I turned it on a bit harder, and as I put it with my finger, it sprayed out all their work they were writing down. So they've gone mad, and all the sixth formers' paperwork was, all their exams were ruined. Yeah. They was like, get out, do you know what I mean? And they went to my mum and said, like, we can't cope with him. But I was just ADHD. It wasn't a case of like, I was a naughty kid. Apart from I went into a terrapin, and me and this other guy called Mark, I think I put a dumbbell over his head, but it wasn't like intentionally, like at first. He just came out and was giving it all better than that. And I just picked the dumbbell out, and I'm like, F off, do you know what I mean? I sort of done him, and then I hit him, and then it was, but I was never a tough kid back then. I just done things out of reactions. Do you know what I mean? Because I think I was like ADHD out.
What was boarding school like for you? You said it went from there to there with boarding school. Why did it go mad? Why did it do that?
Right. So, so that was probably the hardest time of my life, to be honest. One, like having to leave my mum and dad. Like the first time when so it was a bit of a weird one. So I'm at home, 2 months have gone past. I've been expelled from school. They like trying to figure out what school to put me in. And I'm just like sat in my bedroom, just doing my own thing, thinking, oh yeah, don't really care. I was thinking, I'm off school more than anything. And then so I had to go with my mum and dad to Terrapin in Wokenham, and I'm in there and they're discussing where I'm going to go next. And then I'm sat out, obviously, in the foyer bit, and I'm just sat there. I was only like 10 years old, do you know what I mean? Or 11, whatever. I think it's 10, 11. And then they said, oh, I was 11. And they went, about putting me in boarding school, this, that, and the other. But it was more of a case of like other schools and boarding school. Excuse me. And then, and then they just decided between my parents and the social services that I was going in to this boarding school.
What was the name of the school?
Hollyport.
Okay.
So then, so I'm in my bedroom and I'm crying my eyes out. My mum's crying, cuddling me on the bed, saying, I'm like, don't let me go, Mum, please, I don't want to go, please, I don't want to go. And she's like, that's all right. She says, you've got to go, there's nothing like, because I think this decision was made and I felt like I'm quite gutted that it had been made and I couldn't do nothing about it. I'm going to leave my sisters, my mum, my dad at home, and I've got to go and spend this time in this boarding school for naughty kids. And then, and then I ended up turning up at the boarding school. And then, that was a very, very bad experience in there.
How many years were you in that boarding school for?
4 or 5, I think.
And what was the experience for you? What was bad at that school?
So obviously, the whole school was just a joke. And anyway, it was just an absolute joke. Like, I know people that I've met someone not long ago who was in that school. I ain't spoke to him since we left that school, and his head's gone because of that school, or stuff that happened to him as well. But that's his story to tell. When I went in there, I was only a boy, a little boy, do you know what I mean? And then I couldn't understand, like, it's going to get into a bit of a situation now. Like, what part of the school do you want to hear about?
Just your journey, Steve.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I don't know if I can talk about this.
Okay.
Can we stop it?
Yeah, okay, no worries at all. No worries at all, mate.
Come on, mate.
No, mate. Just take a breather, mate. Take a breather.
Fuck.
Take a breather.
Fuck it now.
Yeah, mate.
Fucking hell, big gangster Steve. Oh, this kills me every time.
Take your time, mate. Take your time.
Oh, fuck me. Oh. See what? It's just to make me mad. Oh, fuck me. It's one of the worst times of my life.
Yeah, mate.
This is why I turn it into a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Oh.
Take your time, mate. Steve, take your time,
I knew I
mate.
couldn't talk about this.
No, take your time. We can brush over it if you want. Oh, if you want to let it out.
I think maybe like...
If you want to brush over it, we can brush over it.
Oh, mate, that was fucking hard.
Yeah, mate. Carlton did say to me, there's two ways we can look at this, mate. We can either brush over it, we can talk about it, that you might go, it's fucking out there now. That's me, it might help you. Or you don't want to talk about it.
It's in my book, do you know what I mean? It's in my book, everything's in my book. But it's why it took 2 years to write my book. It's so hard.
Yeah, I'm sure. Take your time, mate. No rush whatsoever, Steve.
Fuck.
Takes a brave man, mate.
Yeah.
It takes a brave man, what you writing a book and then coming on a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, because this was, I wasn't going to get this out. I even said, Jay, 10 times, no, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing the fucking book. I ain't doing this. I refused it.
Yeah.
He was like, please, this is like something else. Like, there was a Netflix film called Big Boys Don't Cry. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Did you see how bad that was? And when that went #1 seller. Mine's 10 times worse than that.
Jay contacted me.
Yeah.
Said to me, if he tells your story, this will be so powerful.
Yeah. Oh, it will be. I just fucking try and get through it. It's hard, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Steve, that's powerful, mate. And listen, if you want to talk about it, we're here. Yeah. If you don't, I totally respect that as well.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
We've got the headphones off now, mate.
Yeah, I felt we were claustrophobic and I was like, just having a bit of a meltdown.
No, mate.
But yeah.
So at school, what took a turn at school, at boarding school for you?
So that was basically it. Like, so when I first went there, it was like, the first day I went there, it was like I was really annoyed that I'd been taken away from mum and dad and stuff. And I walked into the school, and then it was like the headmaster. It's weird, there's two headmasters. One of the boarding school, one of the actual school.
Yeah.
It was the school one that come and approached me because I was being really naughty. Because I was rebelling because I wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And he came up to me, I'll never forget it, he came up to me, he was like, listen to me. He started screaming at me going, we've got A to C privilege. It was A, B, C, D and E. And he goes, you're on C. He goes, you want to go to E in 2 seconds. And there's like a couple of people in the school that's ever had that done to them or something. I said, I don't care. He goes, right, you're now on. He was like, D. And I was like, bothered. And he was like, you're now on E. And he was like, oh, it was anyway. So I was on E privilege, didn't care, didn't even know what it meant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was a 10-year-old kid. And then, so I goes in and he's like, right, you don't do this, you're staying in there, you got to pick litter around the school or some crap. I was like, whatever, I ain't doing it. He goes, well, if you don't do it, you'll stay on E. So he had to go up privileges and stuff like that. And then I went to the school, and in the school was just like a normal school. Do you know what I mean? You went there every day. The school was okay, to be fair. I met some good people in there that I still speak to this day. Do you know what I mean? I'm still really good friends with. Other than that, it was just like a normal school. It was the boarding school side of things, which took a turn for worse. Do you know what I mean? And then, it's all in my book, which is called Alone. Yeah. It's actually called, it's called Alone with Crazy Steve. And it's coming out soon. So you can get it on Amazon. But everything that I'm about to talk about is in there in depth. Yeah. So I'll maybe like go through it a bit with you. Yeah. And then they can sort of like read it. How did
school affect you? What went on at school for you that affected you later on in life?
In the boarding school.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. So obviously, it's obvious what's gone on in there. People ain't stupid. Well, the way I reacted, that there was some sort of abuse, but it was more like, for the first year, I didn't really have a clue what was going on. I kept waking up because we had these dorms, so we was all in these dorms. Yeah. And there was like I think there's 3 beds in my dorm, and then down there was more and more beds. So I was on the end room, and then one of the guys that was in there left the dorm, and then it was only me and one other guy, and I think he left, and it was just me. But anyway, so the dorms that we were in were like just like prison beddy sort of beds. They were like they had done underneath, and it was like just a little, like a cabinet, and then a bed. That was it really. And then you had your pajamas and your school clothes or whatever. It was kind of like that. And then I used to wake up with, this is fucking hard work. And then I wouldn't know what's gone on. Yeah. And then I just didn't make heads or tails of it. And it used to happen quite, I used to think, every boy gets that. Do you know what I mean? But then they'd be like, I've had a wet dream. Stuff like that. So that went on for like 6 months to a year. I used to like wake up confused, like didn't understand what had gone on. And then it was like, kind of like, it's just hard because my head's going 100 miles an hour. So I would just like wake up confused, stuff like that, and then I didn't really know what was going on in the school.
Was this the headmaster or teachers?
The headmaster.
The headmaster. So the headmaster was.
Well, I only found out later on. I didn't know who was doing what. Do you know what I mean? It was only later on, and like when I woke up through it. Do you know what I mean? Until I realised what was going on. I didn't have a clue at first.
Were you awake? Were you drugged? What was?
So I was drugged.
You were drugged.
Yeah, I didn't realise I was drugged until later on.
Wow.
So the first year, hang on. Yeah, so the first year, I didn't know what was going on, and now I know why. Do you know what I mean? I was confused. I didn't know like what was going on. Like I was just like waking up with stuff down there and other stuff, like it was quite sore and whatnot. And I was thinking, I didn't understand. I just didn't have a clue. And then, and then I sort of like one night, it's doing my head in, but I had a bad belly. Yeah. And then the guy from the school was like, you need to go and have a shower, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, I'll come and give you some medicine. So I'd go down into like these steps, because he only used to come over now and again. It would be like the people, so there was like 2 women that would be on our side. Yeah. And one of them used to stay up the stairs, like quite up high. but you'd never see her. She would like at the end of like when we all went to sleep, she'd go to sleep. And the funniest thing is like we'd all have milk at night time, like in the school, there'd be like loads of kids going down for cookies and milk. And then all of a sudden everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
How do you get 25, 30 kids asleep at dead on time? You don't, without running into each other's rooms or corridors.
Yeah.
So when I spoke to one other guy, which is really actually quite sad, I spoke to him 3 weeks ago. He's now looking at 5 years because I spoke to him about this, and it's brought all his stuff back. And he's just smashed the whole pub up, put a porky around mate's head. He's gone mad. His missus rung me and was like, whatever's gone on in that school is messed his head up. He's just smashed the whole place up. He's looking at 5 years. He's out on license because his whole head's been messed.
Yeah.
He's actually in my book. He's wrote a thing in, he's wrote a paragraph in my book about his dealing with the same thing happening to him.
How long had this gone on for you till you could actually tell anyone, or could you speak to anyone at school?
So obviously when the police come into the school and arrested him for it, he went to prison.
What was his name?
John Hall. So I don't know if I can say it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't know. Yeah. I don't even like saying his fucking name, to be honest. The hardest thing for me. So when I got out of, well, I'll explain the first bit first, a little bit more, and then I want to kind of brush it because I'm really struggling.
Yeah, that's fine. Take your time.
Yeah. So when I'm trying to fucking think. Yeah. So I went down. So we would all go for cookies, or whatever. Blah, blah. Anyway, so I went to the shower, had a shower, and then he went and said, "Oh, there's like a little cup," and he said, "I'll drink this to settle my stomach," and I drank it, and then I'd be asleep, and then I wouldn't remember anything.
Yeah.
That's kind of what would gone on.
So that headmaster was going round drugging the kids.
Yeah. So Jay's writing my book has actually found this out, all the drug charts in that school. So I said to Jay, when he started saying about a book with me, he's like, I said to him, I was drugged. I know for a fact I was.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people in that school, like other people, whether they were in on it or whether they wasn't.
Yeah.
But I know whether it was his little thing, I don't know. But yeah, the worst thing for me and this other person I've just spoke to as well, he said the same thing. He was like, I couldn't remember things, and I was always like disorientated, but I knew this had happened, that had happened, and you know what I mean? I was just like, and it made me feel really angry on him that he'd done it to him, let alone me. I didn't want him to do it to anyone out of kids, do you know what I mean? I thought like, and then, so Jay's found, like, he's looked at all the history stuff, and everything that I'd done, that John Hall was all on me. Everything I'd done in that school, it's all my book, all the pages and are in there. It wasn't any other staff, it was always him that done it with me.
Yeah.
And he'd done a thing called Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and I was Joseph.
Yeah.
He put me up there. He put me as Joseph on purpose, so he could keep me out later and do things what he was doing and stuff like that. And I'd go back, and then I'd be like drugged and whatnot, and then I'd go down, and he was always like in this. Oh, it was a bit of an awkward one, but I'd go down into like where he would give me the thing, and then I woke up. Oh, mate. I'm fucking struggling.
No, mate. Just take it, mate. Honestly, if you want to brush over this, I'm happy to I'm happy to go over this, Steve. It's up to you, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, he's just a sick fuck.
Yeah. So how many years did this go on for, this John Hall? 4 years. And could you not tell anyone? Could you not tell your mum and dad? Did he bully you to say you can't tell anyone? Was there any words like that? Did it get into your head?
So something happened in the school. So this group of guys came that was to go into the swimming pool bit. This is like in my book, it's like really messed my head up. So, and I sort of like went over to tell them what had been going on. And then something really bad happened. I'm not even going to get into that because I will not be able to speak about it.
Yeah.
I will just mentally crack up.
Yeah.
And then I was told, you little big mouth, like shut up, that kind of stuff, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it was really like messed me up. But it's like you get like this is the thing with this world, like especially in this country and that you get stuff like this happen and it all gets brushed under the carpet and it pisses me off. And like people like me, there's hundreds thousands out there that are in the same position I'm at that don't want to say anything because you feel like, well, you're gay. Yeah. Like this, like I said something, and this is really fucked up in my head, this, and I don't care, I will say this. And for me to like, oh mate, I said to my missus 3 weeks ago, we was talking about it, as I was saying about coming on a podcast and that, and it was hard for me just to come here.
Yeah.
Like I just like everything about, even my book took 2 years to write. It was so long to write because of this stuff. But I said to my missus about 3 weeks ago, I was like, I feel like I don't want to be here anymore. I'm sick of it. Like, how do you think in life when that sort of stuff happens? I'm supposed to be enjoying that moment with my missus.
Yeah.
And then that comes back in my life.
Yeah.
And every single time of my life since I've left that school.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, it's doing my head.
It's fine, mate. Steve, fine, mate.
Yeah.
So when you left that school,
yeah,
was it? When was it? With your mum and dad, you spoke to your mum and dad about what went on?
Well, they didn't know anything until the police come and got us. So I got done for. So after the school,
yeah,
let's forget that school.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think I
gone.
can cope anymore.
Mate, you've done well. You've done well there.
Yeah, so I got done. So I went into my auntie's house where her fella, and I broke in there because my cousin had a bit of drama in Milton Keynes, blah blah. I broke into his house. He showed me some guns.
Yeah.
So I broke into the house and I nicked the guns that he had when he was on holiday. So like as you do, and then I ended up going to Milton Keynes. I ended up pulling out his guns. I robbed some guy on a train. Then I robbed this other guy on a bridge. And then I told the ticket man to stop the train while I robbed everyone on the train with the gun. And then all of a sudden everyone was scared of me because I had this gun.
Yeah.
So for the first time in my life, I've been all what I've been through.
Yeah.
So you need to read the book to go into detail because I can't speak about it anymore. But
just on a note there, Jay, who's written your book with you, said it's the most powerful book he's ever written or read in his life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So what did you do? You had the gun on the train.
Yeah. So I had this gun, and this is where like I just want to be honest. And like I had this gun, and for the first time in my life, I thought people are scared of me because I was to the point. Whoa. Instead of like I'm going like people always pushing themselves on me and stuff and making me. Or what happened, that kind of lifestyle. I felt such a little boy, and now I feel like I'm a bit of a man with a gun. Do you know what I mean? And deep down in my heart and soul, I was still a wimp. I was still a little boy, but I had a bit of power. Yeah. So I'd done what I'd done. I point like, give me your money, that kind of stuff. So I robbed these two. I robbed two fellas. I robbed the mate on the train. The guy that I was with, who was my co-D, his mum told the police where I was and when she was going to take me to the police station. She set me up, and I pulled into the garage, and I was arrested. Do you know what I mean? And then,
how old were you when you were arrested then?
I was 16.
16.
Just turning 16, yeah. And
so this trauma that's happened in your life as a young kid, has been coming out as an adult over the years.
Yeah. So
of the anger coming through. Yeah.
Yeah. So I at that time. I went to prison, you're thinking, because I had a gun. All of a sudden now the gun's not there. Yeah. I'm back into being a little boy again. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm walking into, I was in Felton first. I went to Felton prison and I'm walking into the prison and there's bad boys. Yeah. And I ain't no bad boy. Do you know what I mean? I've just been abused by my headmaster. I've been put into a situation I didn't want to be in. My head was mentally gone. And then I've got a gun and 2 minutes later I'm taking money off people thinking I'm something, and now I'm back to thinking I'm completely nothing again. Wow. And I'm back in the system. But there was a bit I missed. From the boarding school to prison, I got remanded to local authority. I went to a children's home first, then I got remanded to local authority in Suffolk, where when I went there, this was like obviously for the crimes before that, I'll explain it to you in a minute. I went to this place in Suffolk where I got taken away. So I was from boarding school from there. Because I was in boarding school, they put me in Suffolk, which was like a children's home. Yeah. And in Suffolk, obviously it was quite rough, the school I was in. And I went outside and 2 boys from the school bashed me up, put me in a pond. And like lighter gas, they squirted it in my face when I couldn't move. And I was like trying to breathe it in, but I was going dizzy, but I think they squirted the stuff in my face and it bashed me up. I was obviously like, couldn't breathe in the pond or whatever. Then I've gone to my bedroom and it's like 11 o'clock at night and then my door's gone through and the mate he's made this like metal thing through his thing here and out here. Like, I don't even know how he got this metal place because he used to be able to go and do metal work. But he had to leave the stuff there. And he started stabbing me in my back with it. Just throughout my room.
Why?
For no reason. just because he didn't like me. I didn't even know they were kids because I only just got there. They'd already drowned me in the pond near one and smacked me up and stuck lighter fluid in my mouth. Now I'm in my bed lying there asleep, and then he just started stabbing me, and then I couldn't say nothing because you were grass. So I'm in my bed bleeding, thinking shit. So I've had to go down and say, look, I've been stabbed in my back. They're like, okay, sorted. Who done it? No one. You try and say nothing. So I'm still in there, and then I end up escaping. So obviously every single time that kind of stuff happened, I was a little boy crying and screaming my eyes out for my mum. All I wanted was my mum, please, 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 screaming, crying. In the end, I've left there. I've seen the door. So the woman used to, downstairs, there was a door, and she would go home, and then the night staff would be on. And so I ran down, and there was a load of coats hanging up on the thing, and they were all winter coats. And I quickly hid and pulled the coats around me like this, so I could hide there. And then she's gone in there. As she's gone to shut the door, she's opened the door and walked off, and I quickly ran and hid behind this plant pots bush, and I'm hid there, and the door's shut, and she looked back because I think she heard it kind of. I was thinking, shit, don't know. I was like a stealth guy, do you know what I mean? As she's done that, I've ran to where the electric gates are open, and I've gelled, and I've ran all the way to the train station. I bunked the train all the way back to Reading. I went to my sister Rachel's house because she was my rock. She was like my twin. And if ever I needed anything, she would hide me in her house and stuff like that. So I went back to her house. She hid me, and then obviously I went, got the guns, blah blah, and then that was when that happened. And then I got locked up. That's the bit in between because of all that stuff from boarding school. My head's been a bit
How long were you put away for?
So I got 4 years, 4.5 years, 42 months and 36 months, I think, 3 different offences. So it was nearly 10 years, but I done.
So when you were an adult at 18, did you get banged up again after that?
No, you stay in there. You stay in there till 21.
Till 21,
if you're in there from young age.
Okay.
So yeah, that was when.
So when you come out of there, what was the total amount of time you done in there?
Just over 4 years.
Just over 4 years. When you come out, what was your mindset? Were you still properly angry?
So I lost the plot in jail.
Yeah.
They say about old Crazy Steve. So from boarding school, children's homes, remanded to local authority, and then prison, I went from, obviously there, when I went into jail, I went to Feltham first. I was beat up in there by my cellmate straight away. Some black guy I was in there with just kicked the shit out of me, took my pillows. I was a little boy. I was going in there at 16. I was a kid.
Yeah.
Then from there, Feltham, I went to Glen Parva. I was beat up in there flat out. I was still a kid. I was 17, I think, by the time I was in there. I was 17. Then I went from Glen Parva to Reading, then moved to Reading. Then I was in Reading. I was still a kid. I was getting beat up left, right and centre. I was a fraggle. I ain't gonna lie. I'll tell you straight. I'm not going to sit and go, I was a big bag, because I wasn't.
Yeah.
And then from Reading, I went to Portland, and the screw said to me, when I got my sentence, because I was on remand and all them, he was like, you're going to Portland. He goes, just keep yourself quiet and don't say a word. That jail was quite rough.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fucking hell, here we go. I've just had the worst life. I've been stabbed, I've been beat. I was put in a wheelchair in Feltham. They beat the shit out of me so bad, and broke my back.
Why do you think you were a target to get?
Because I was a wimp.
Is that literally because of that?
Because I was a wimp. I was a little fraggle. Yeah, it was an easy target. Someone that goes crazy, you don't really want to mess with, do you?
Yeah.
And I know that because as soon as I started going nuts, everyone left me alone.
Right, okay.
Later on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay. So once you've done all that and you've come out at 21, what's your world been like? We're talking in the 80s there, aren't we? 80s, 90s.
90s.
Yeah, okay.
I come out just at 2000.
You come out in 2000. What's your life been like from 2000 to where we are today?
Well, I was only out of jail 3 days, and that's how I met Carlton Leach.
And he was the best man at your wedding last week.
Yeah, he was his best man at my wedding, yeah. So there is a firm, do you know what I mean? And I've been kind of like a part of it for like a long time.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me because like my life, I didn't want my life to go anything but be normal. Yeah. My whole life, like since all that happened and I got out of prison. So I'll go back and explain to you why my life out of jail went the way it did.
Yeah.
I'll sort of say at the end of Portland prison, I met Ray Winston in there.
Yeah.
He came in with the film crew because he done Scum, the film Scum in there. And I've got pictures in my book of me and Ray Winton.
Is that right?
In there, yeah. Me and Ray Winton actually in the
Great
prison.
lad, Ray, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I spoke to him. I said to him, I go, say that thing, where's your tool? Because we watched the film before he got there. Because they said he's coming in. And he was like, where's your fucking tool?
Yeah.
But other than that, I spoke to him for a little bit and that, and then I drew these pictures, these gloves with, I even drew like these 2 boxing gloves on the wall with a chain that was broken. And they were in red, and they were in my book picture with the gloves that I drew. And he said, what is that? And I said, well, it's like breaking free from all this. Everything for me, what I'd put in my life was about getting out and breaking free and coming away from all that. You know, like we all get like, I mean, I tried to top myself. I didn't care. I did. I tried to think of ways to get out of prison, smash my knees up so I get in a wheelchair and they let you out. That kind of stuff.
Right?
Because I had enough, but I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm a little kid from 10, 11 years old till I was 21.
A 10-year period of being abused or beaten up.
Completely and compulsively all the time.
Mate.
So it was like in the book it says I should have been a fucking accountant. Yeah. Because I shouldn't have been a bad boy. I didn't want to be a bad boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I had ADHD, but I didn't want to be a bad boy. That wasn't my kind of thing, do you know what I mean? Anyway, so after being beat, like Portland, I was beat to fuck by the screws. The screws were outrageous. I'm telling you, I don't care, and I'll say it on camera. Get a screw in front of my face, that'll be a different story.
Yeah.
But back then, when you were a kid, the screws used to kick the shit out of you. Portland prison was brutal. I first walked in, I come from Feltham. I first walked into the prison, and in Feltham, from Reading, sorry, but from Feltham and Reading and Glenparva, when you're in them prisons, it's Gov or boss. So you're all right, Gov, all right, boss. Do you know what I mean? That's what you say it. When you go to Portland, it's sir. Right. You have to say sir. It's all army. So you stand up. My number was TL3908. Lestrange was my name. Raleigh was my wing, and then sir. So you stand there. As soon as you hear the keys, you're TL3908 Lestrange Raleigh, sir. And you had to say it like that because army run. Yeah. It wasn't like a normal prison. You sit there and chill out and watch TV. Yeah. There was no TVs in the cell. Yeah. We didn't even have toilets. Yeah. We had a bucket, 2 buckets. I used to shit in a bucket. Like there was no toilets in the cell. It was brutal in there. So I went in there and I was like, I was the first one out of the group that went into from the wagon that takes you into the prison, the group 4. I was the first one in there that he said, Lestrange? I went, yes, Gov. And as I went to walk round, he put his pad down, walked round and smacked me straight in the face in front of everyone. I was on the floor, like ringing ears, grabbed me ear. He went, you call me fucking sir, boy. Do you understand? And I was like, yeah. I was like, sir, yeah. I was still confused. Yeah. And I got up and out. He goes, what'd you say? I went, sir. He went, loud. I went, sir. He went to stand there. I was like, what the fuck? Now I've been abused my whole life. Yeah. And you're in the prison. Now I'm being bashed again, but not by the inmates, but the fucking screws. Yeah. I'm like, what? Is this even happening? And you ask anyone that's been in Portland, they know this for a fact. Yeah. So anyway, I goes in this prison and they hated me. I don't know why. I had this face. She's like, fuck him, he's a prick. Let's smash him up. Anyway, so I ended up going on to the wing I went on. They had no toilet. So I went in my cell. I was like, where's the toilet? Underneath your bed, you've got like a round white lidded pot and then you've got like a brown bucket. The brown bucket's got water in it. It's for your dirty shit. And this one's to have piss. There's no toilets, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? And you're in the middle of the sea, because Portland's on an island. Yeah.
So down in Weymouth?
Yeah, so we're on an island. So you're in the middle of the sea, and it's a Borstal, where it was just turning Borstal from where we were. So 97, 2000 was so rough in there. The matey next to me killed himself straight away. Another matey cut his arms up here. Within like days of me turning up. There was so many stabbings in there, so many cutting. It was bad, brutal. And not on top of that, I think the worst thing for me in Portland, this was like what mentally done me, was where I was always bullied and beat up my whole life, being that kind of abused person. When I went to Portland, say you don't like me and I'm just an innocent kid, don't want no fights, I just want to keep my head down, you come up and punch me in the face 3 or 4 times and break my jaw. I go to block and you do. So I get punished. Right, okay. I don't care who started it, you're both going to block. So I would get bashed or dragged down the stairs. I was walking up the stairs with my food, I got dragged down by my feet and all smacked up by a couple of fellas. And then the screws have arrested, like handcuffed all of us and put us down block and took us down into block. So I'm sitting down block doing 7 days for being bullied. Oh, mate. So you see what I'm saying? Yeah, so you're being bullied and punished.
And getting punished as well.
And then you go down block and they used to put their arms on the door like this. They'd rip all your clothes off you, smash you into a cell, throw you up against it with your hand and stick your finger straight up your ass. And you think I'm lying, this is true. And you'd be like, and if you violate, especially from what happened in school. Yeah. Now I'm like, I can't cope. I literally can't cope. That was all the time. Then you go and see the governor, which is a woman, and you say anything, they'd rip you off the chair. It was so brutal. The screws in there were so brutal, it was a joke. Some of the screws were nice. but a lot of them were bad. They were proper, honestly.
How did that, like all of this going on, how were you when you were 21 now? How old are you now?
40. Well,
You're 40.
yeah.
How have you been for the last 22 years? What's your world been like?
It's mental health, isn't it? That's how my whole life's been at the moment. It's like, even up until now, all the way through, is the mental health, anxiety, depression, PTSD, health anxiety, panic attacks. If you have panic attacks, I need to explain this like on another level. Panic attacks for me are the worst that anyone in this world can have. So you can have mental health and you can feel depressed and your head, there's stuff that happens in your head you can't get out. And I've heard people go, yeah, well, if you go for therapy, I've had loads of therapy, by the way, counsellors and psychiatrists and whatnot when I was in jail and stuff like that. It don't work. None of it works. Therapists to talk about stuff works because you could talk to a 65-year-old or 85-year-old lady from the streets and just be like, yeah, blah, 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 and you'll feel better.
Yeah.
And that's where I think kind of like the money side of things and counselling, unless you've been through it like on another level and you can sort of relate to a lot of people, then I don't think counselling is any good. Because someone says, oh, sometimes I just sit there and listen. Yeah, you're right. Sit there and listen because someone wants to talk. As soon as someone starts talking, you get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So mental health, yeah, that's a bad thing to have mental health anyway. Anxiety, when you get anxiety doing stuff, like I know someone that won't leave his house and I helped him leave his house. And they was like, how do you help him leave his house? I was like, well, first thing I said to him was, he said, I can't open the door. As soon as I go to leave, I have an anxiety attack and I shut my door. And he's a bit of a boy. And I said to him, listen, will you let me help you? Because one thing I know in the whole of my life of living is mental health, anxiety, depression, PTSD, panic attacks. Yeah. That's my whole life in the whole. I know it like back of my hand. I know people go to me, how are you still alive? How do you not take drugs? How are you not drinking? I'll tell you in a minute why I don't drink. But because if you take any of them substances, any of them, I mean any substance, you're going to relapse on another level. Because you need to, you're already battling your own brain. You're already battling that. So you're going to put a substance in on that. It's only going to be carnage. So I said to a pal of mine, because he couldn't leave the house, and he said, oh, I said, can I help you? And he's like, oh, please, I can't cope, Steve. So I said to him, listen, every morning he gets a paper, it comes through his door. He has a cup of tea, blah, he's a fag. So I said to him, look, do yourself a favour. Go to the front door, pull up a chair, have a fag and a paper at the front door. When a baby's born, it drags itself first, goes like that, then it crawls, then it starts to walk. You have to take baby steps. You can't just go, I'm going to do it. Get out there, you pussy. Don't work like that. Mental health is massive. People go, we don't care about your mental health. Well, don't then. But it'd be a bit different when if his mum got and killed. He'd suffer mental health then. Before anything happens to their life, they don't understand it. But it's not their fault. So I said to my mate, anyway, go to the front door, do this first. And this could help a lot of people out there, just this alone. If you can't leave your house, try this. So he went to his front door and he'd done it. And for like 4 or 5 days, he was just having a fag at the front door, having his cup of tea, reading the paper. I said, now, after I spoke to him like 4 or 5 days later, I said, how are you getting on? He goes, yeah, it's all right, I'm in my house. I goes, right, now open the front door. Stay where you are, just open the front door. Do the same thing for another week. And he's like, oh, I kind of understand what you're doing, Steve. So we've done it for about 5-6 days. And he goes, I pulled the door shut first, so it was a little bit jarred. And I said, just keep opening it. You don't have to do it straight away. Why? We're not on a time limit. Do it whenever you're ready. Feel comfortable. He went, Steve, I love it when you talk to me like this because I feel good. I don't feel like I'm pressured. So anyway, then he ended up opening it. I said, right, now do yourself a favour. Go outside your front door and sit down and have a fag and a paper outside the front door. But keep your front door open. So you can always bail in if you need to. And he was like, okay, cool. And he started doing that. By the time like 3 or 4 weeks had come, he was walking around outside.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to say, oh yeah, open the door, come with me and just grab him and throw him outside. He'd probably go mentally insane.
Baby steps.
And see, like, this is what mental health, and this is like, everything to do about mental health, anxiety, depression, PTSD, panic attacks, it has to be like this. You have to feel comfortable. As soon as you get anxiety, the first thing you do is you put your hand up, oh, I don't want this, I don't need this. You put a guard up. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, mental health is like massive for me.
So for you, when you come out of prison, what did you do for £1 note?
Well, this is when I met Carlton. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. So it was difficult for me because when I first come out, obviously I was a nutter. Like I didn't give a, so basically I go back to a quick bit in jail. I was down block and I'd had enough. I'd been beat up. I was just turning 21. And when you're down block, you have a vest top and shorts. I had my vest top on and I pulled it over my knees and I had my hands in and I was sort of freezing cold. And I think I had a black eye and couple of cuts on my face, and I was doing this, and I was just going, and I was crying. I had enough. I was like, just kill me. And in the end, I swear, like I say it to everyone, like, you know, like a click of a fingernail.
Yeah.
When in my head, I was like, oh, that was a bit funny. And it was weird. It's like all my feelings, like, I don't know if you want to call it split personality, I don't know, but everything just went. I didn't feel anything. It's like I lost the plot. Like I sat there and I was like kind of rocking my vest on, and I went, fuck this. Like, and I said, that's it. I've had enough. Anyone that looks at me in the wrong way, anyone that even remotely wants to start, I'm going to smash them. I'm going to fight. I don't care. So one of the guys I was down block with, I went onto the main wing. And then when I went to the main wing, as they took the handcuffs, I went and got a pull ball and smacked it straight in his face. And he was like, are you mad, bruv? I'm going to kill you. I said, no, I'm actually going to fucking kill you. I'm going to kill you. And he was like, yeah, come on. I said, trust me. And I was going to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely meant it. I weren't fucking joking. To kill me then was a gift.
Yeah.
If you was to kill me then, go on then. I tried it. I couldn't even kill myself. I tried to throw myself off a landing. Like, I couldn't care. So now I'm thinking to myself, right now I'm going to be the bad person. I didn't want to be. But now I think I kind of lost it. I lost the plot. So then I started, like, anyway, they moved me wing because of the drama that was going on between me and his boys, because apparently he had like 10 boys that were going to kill me. They moved me wing to the wing across the other side. I then had fights over there. I started going nuts. And all the screws started like coming up to me going, what's up? What's wrong with you? And the other, I was like, fuck off, didn't care. They hit me. I didn't give a shit. I was like, do what you got to do. And I started getting respect from people. People started generally like going, fucking hell, you all right? Yeah, you all right, bruv? Yeah. Oh, you all right, you know, blah, blah. Yeah. I was like, yeah, whatever, go away from me. I wouldn't care. Even if they said I was all right, I'd be like, fuck off away from me now. Go away from me. I don't care. Go away. I didn't want anyone in my space. I didn't want anyone near me, or we're going to have it. Yeah. So it was like, that was it. Kill everyone or be killed. Like, I didn't care whether you killed me. So then I get out of prison. Then I lands the street. And then for like, I'd say a good year, I literally beat the fuck out of nearly everyone in my area. I was in serious clothes then, and I was just like, I was smashing people up. I was drinking. As soon as I drunk, that's why I don't drink now. As soon as I drunk, I smashed my sister's whole entire house up and everyone in it. Dragged them out. I was whacking their head in the fucking doors. I was getting fucking like shooters and that, like going through people's doors with axes. I was mad. Like I didn't care. Like one of the guys tried messing me about, and I put my whole axe through the front of his door, went through his door. And then I was just like, I was beating people up in pubs. I was going nuts. Like I was genuinely lost the plot. Like, because they let me out at the wrong time. Yeah. Like if they'd let me out a year before, I'd never commit another crime again. Yeah. I'd have been the absolute fraggle stacking shelves in McDonald's in Tesco's or something. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'd lost the plot. Now I'm out on the streets and I'm a dangerous man, because even though I couldn't really fight that much then, I was crazy. Like, I wouldn't care. And then I started getting a reputation. Then everyone started going, oh yeah, Mad Steve, Loony Steve, Crazy Steve. That was my name started coming from. And then in the end it was like, oh yeah, do you know Crazy Steve? Yeah, blah, blah. And I was just going through people's doors. I was just taking money off people. I didn't give a shit. I started getting a bit of a firm together. Like boys like that were wrapped up around me that were crazy as well. And we started just doing everything, mate, like anything to earn money. Like, and it was easier just to take the money than to sell the drugs or anything like that. It's easier just to go straight to the end and take it. Yeah. Well, we ain't gonna fuck about sitting there doing that. We're just going to take it at the end. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like let them do the graft and just straight up and just take everything they got. Do you know what I mean? We wouldn't be too greedy, because everyone started cottoning on till we was robbing them. Do you know what I mean? And we used to call them eats. Like, we're going to go and do an eat on the streets. Like, yeah, let's go and wrap this guy up or eat this guy. Do you know what I mean? And we just go and do it. And then, so that went on for quite a while. And then I went into Reading one night. I shut this whole nightclub down. I smashed everyone up in it. I got smacked in the face by a couple of fellas and that, and I just lost it. But what happened is I started, like, when that happened, I started going boxing. So I thought to myself, I need to make myself tough. Not like tough as in like the hardest man in the world, just tough enough to be able to defend myself. And then being crazy on top of that, you're quite dangerous then. So you don't have to be like that. So then,
but someone who don't care for their own life, is the most dangerous person.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I do now. I didn't then. Yeah, back then, I swear I didn't. Like, to kill me was a gift. That's what it was, because of how much my head had gone. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I ended up, So after that, I ended up going nuts after that and just going into towns and smashing the place up.
How did you get on? How did you and Carlton first meet?
So this is what I'm getting to now. So I got locked up again.
For
for 3 GBHs, 2 ABHs, common assault with police officer. It was a bit of a mad fight, and that's what they could put on me. I smashed the fucking place to pieces. I got CS gassed, I got tasered, I whipped the taser out, I went mad. I got all the paperwork at home, and I lost the plot, and it was in Reading. Then I was in remand, and I just got out of prison, so I bust case because it was such a big fight. Just bust case, so I got let back out, and then
bust case.
Yeah, so like there was just like
taken away.
There was no evidence.
Okay.
Yeah, well there was evidence, but it was so messy.
Yeah,
it just got chucked down. I got let out. So then I
how long were you in remand for?
3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just been out of jail. So that was like I was in 3 times I went in, but like 2 on remand.
Yeah,
and then 1 big sentence at the beginning.
Yeah,
and so then I got out. I was out 3 days, and I get a phone call. Blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, cool. And then I was with one of my pals at the time. He was like, I'm going to Spain, blah, blah. I had loads of drama going on in my life, like loads. I can't say too much in it because I don't know what I can or can't say. And then I flew over there, and that was the second movie where I was at Foot Soldiers 2, when they all got stabbed up in abroad. That was me. That I went out there with this mate of mine and landed there, and that's for the first time I met the whole firm. I met all the boys from the film. They're all in like a villa, kind of like a house villa thing. Went in there, and it was upstairs, downstairs, and kitchens and whatnot. And and that's when I met Carlton, and he was like, I'll never forget this the day I die. He was like, you came out, you didn't have to come and back me up. And there was a lot of stuff going on there, mate. There was like cars pulling past. There was like cars coming past slowly with all like 5 men in it, like all looking shady and shit like that. And he didn't know if they're going to pull a shooter out and shoot her. Stuff like that, and it all got.
So you got a call, and straight away when you cut a nick, you were like, right, I'm in Spain, I'll back you up.
Yeah, I shouldn't even left the country. I don't even know how I got in there really. And I had probation on the Thursday, so I'd gone over Spain to go and do a load of naughty stuff, and then it all went a bit like that over there. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll come back on the Thursday, and I was sat in probation in Bracknell, and there was probation. I was like, you all right? I was like, yeah. And they was like, so how you feeling? Anything in your life happening? Like, are you looking for work and that? I was like, yeah, I've been looking and that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, there was sort of like, office been in Spain. It's with all this madness going on. I can't say too much about what we had over there. Do you know what I mean? But it was kind of
heard.
That. Yeah. So it was like that, and then come back. And this is the maddest thing. So when I come back, I didn't know which way my life was going to go after that. And I come back to the UK, and I was in probation, and I was sitting there thinking, fuck am I doing with my life? Do you know what I mean? Like, and like I kept going through like little phases. One, I wanted to kill the whole world. Just kill me or I'll kill you. Oh, I need to sort my life out. Oh, I'll kill you. I need to sort my life out. I still had that part of me that was that nice side that wants to like get on, and then this side is just like fucking like I've got like 2 sides, like a 50 pence piece. If you spin it, depending on I'm gonna put a glass in your neck or something. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, I'm sat at home and that, and I'm just like my head's doing my head in, and then I get a phone call from Carlton. You all right? Want to have a meet? Blah blah. I said, yeah, cool. Goes on the meet, and he said, what do you want to do? Bit of work, blah blah. And I was like, yeah. Anyway, cut the story short. Couple of things were done, this, that, and the other, and then I was telling you about my mate Tuffy earlier. So I ended up meeting Tuffy. We ended up hooking up together.
Where's Tuffy from?
He's from London, but he's from Stanwell. Yeah, and and then he's like. Yeah, that's Stanwell, was pretty much his area from, but they call him the Grim Reaper. Yeah. He's a fucking lunatic.
But he's got some stories, hasn't he?
Put me with him.
Yeah.
Right? And
that's a combo, isn't it?
Mate, and I was like, yeah, and I hooked up with him. And I can't even mention stuff on air with me and him, but he is nuts. Like, absolutely nuts.
From you to say that about someone.
Yeah.
Like
at the time of that, it was mad.
What year are we talking here, roughly?
So that was like 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, 2005. And that was it. Me and him were just become best friends and work partners. And we were just taking money left, right and centre of anyone that even fucking looks the other way. Do you know what I mean?
Give me an example of what you mean by taking money.
So robbing drug dealers.
Okay.
At the time, we just robbed drug dealers, mate. It was just easier. So
give me an example of a job. If you knew a dealer was bringing a load of gear at the time, you knew those.
So I'll tell you an example. We was in. I can't say too much because I get nicked.
No, well, don't. If that's the case, don't say it.
Yeah, maybe not say it.
Don't say it.
Fucking nicked.
Yeah. Well, don't. Yeah, definitely don't say it then. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was an easy job. Yeah. They're almost easy jobs, all of them.
Yeah.
We got we'd get intel.
Did you get a buzz from those jobs, knowing you're going to go and nick a dealer, knowing that they can't go and grass on you?
Oh, do you know what it was? Every time we'd done a job, I just watch Tuffy.
You used to watch him?
Yeah, because he was just touched in the head. It was just like watching him thinking, like, I would go and do a job. So I'd go there, like you just grab people up with, oh, you fucking, I mean, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he was just a different league. It's all he knows.
Okay.
I don't like,
Was he calm? Was he cold? Was he collected? Was he going mad in there?
completely calm.
Yeah.
Completely calm, but souped up calm.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like, I can't even explain it, but he's nuts. He's definitely.
That's more dangerous when someone's calm and telling you firmly, isn't it?
He's like, yeah, he's nuts. That's all I can say, really. He's definitely nuts. And yeah.
So how was your like when you come out then you were robbing dealers? Did you ever get the fear those dealers were coming after you? Do you ever get the fear of they know where you live? Were you constantly on the move?
100%. I had dealers coming after me all the time.
Yeah.
100%. They were like, oh yeah, crazy, done it, blah, 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 blah. They said, no, we're like, yeah, all right. So then we had to go and sort them out before they sort us out. So we'd go and wrap them up. So like, that's when it comes into like, I can't say too much on it.
Yeah.
When stuff would happen and we'd have to back it.
Yeah.
You had to back stuff. If you didn't back it, you're going to get got.
Yeah.
I had people like coming for me loads of times. But if they come, they would definitely get it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So you'd rather go and find them
me
first?
Dead or them dead.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? There's nothing in between. There ain't no scrap. It's either he's getting killed or we're getting killed.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like drama in people these days. Because there's no in between anymore, really. I ain't scrapping someone. My days of having a scrap are done. Do you know what I mean? I'm not interested in scrapping anyone. I don't really want to drama anyone. Do you know what I mean? At all. But this day and age, it's just going to be a death. It's either us or them. Do you know what I mean?
When you were at peak in your active world, roughly how old were you at peak?
27.
27.
Yeah, I was fucking nuts then.
Did you like the feeling that you were kind of getting your own back after all that abuse, all that bullying, actually as an adult now from 21 to, I know you're 43 and you're clean and everything today, but that period of 21 to, I don't know what age, 35, 36, whatever. Yeah. Did you enjoy the thought that people knew you were crazy?
No, it wasn't even about that. I think it was the women.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know, like, women just love a bad boy.
Yeah.
And it was that, I think. I didn't give a shit about anything else. I didn't want to be a bad boy, genuinely. Yeah. Like, I weren't really interested in that kind of lifestyle, do you know what I mean? It was more the fact, like, I think my life went from mental health. That's even to this day, I think everything about me is mental health. Being a bad boy gangster, don't interest me. I don't think you're a bad boy doing that. I don't think it's big. I don't think it's tough or hard or anything.
How quickly can you lose the plot?
And 2 seconds flat.
Is it literally like that?
Yeah. Depending on. So I'll say an incident now. Like, so basically, I was in a pub once, and back in the days, people used to go around and just grab your dick for you got a piece on him.
Yeah.
Thinking it's funny.
Yeah.
What happened to me in a pub? I was in a pub. I used to just drink brandy. This guy came up and gone bang. As soon as he touched me, I just went smash with a glass of insult. No talking, not touching my dick, especially after what happened to me in school. I smashed him in the grass and I pulled him over. I started smashing him up. I started dragging him out the pub by his feet and I whacked the fucking door on his head and I was stamping on his head. People were getting involved. I think I hit some other fella and I was going mad. I was like, oh, fucking kill everything.
And this is all from triggering.
It's just triggering from school.
Yeah.
That's what triggers me. It's as simple. Like, that is as simple as it is.
Have you ever been to see like people that can try to go back to that trauma to try to clear that trauma up? Have you ever?
There's no point.
There's no point. Okay.
This is where mental health, anxiety, depression, PTSD, panic attacks. Panic attacks stem from a lot of mental health. I can put it together why and when. Now, I couldn't then, but I can now. I know what it's all about. People that go through trauma like that, there's not anything out there that, and I can tell you now, and I don't care what any professional says, there's nothing out there that can help you in that way to think, oh, well, we can sort that out and you'll be better. No, you won't. You'll never ever get away from them dreams, your thoughts, your heads, the stuff. The only thing you can do is learn to deal with it.
Yeah.
In this day in life. So how to deal with that trauma. You can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
You can't put it in a box and feel, oh, it's in a box now, forget it.
When there's a trauma like that and you're laying in bed at night watching TV and then you're there thinking, is that racing through your head? What
Every
happened?
day. Every day,
Wow.
all day, all night. I wake up, my nightmare starts. Simple as that. Simple as that. Genuinely. So like that's I put a thing on my Facebook not long ago saying that when you wake up with a nightmare, mine starts, and I'm like, I just don't get out of it. Do you know what I mean? I wake up in the middle of the night, screaming, like getting out of my bed, like it's constant. I hardly ever sleep. It's been that my whole life.
Have you ever gone and found that old headmaster?
So
have you looked for him?
Right. So this is where the person that I am today, knowing what I know, knowing the caliber of a man I am. When I got out of prison, there used to be a guy called Ian Glasby, he used to work at the school. He went to the ice rink in Bracknell. I got out of prison. I went to the ice rink. I see him. Gave me a massive cuddle. I bawled my eyes out straight away. He bawled his eyes out. He was like, I heard what happened, blah, 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 blah. He went to prison. I said, where is he? He went, he killed himself in jail. That's the last I heard. Instantly, I was pissed off. So I heard he killed himself in jail and he was an ex-copper. Then he died of cancer.
Who was an ex-copper?
The Ian Glasby, who's worked at my school.
Okay, yeah.
He was a drug squad copper, and he worked at our school. So when I see him, he about 2 years later, he got cancer. I went and see him in hospital because I still rated and respected him because he was the only person that was decent in school. Yeah. I went and see him, and he actually said to me when I was in there, he was like, "Can you get me a gun?" I went, "What?" He goes, "I want to kill myself." I was like, "Fucking no." Yeah. I'm not getting involved in any of that. Do you know what I mean? No way. And he was like, "Steve, I've got an illness and I can't get rid of it." I said, "No, I ain't doing that, mate. Fuck that. How can you ask me something like that? You're a copper, mate." Yeah. From my past, I've always been bad, but I still liked him as a friend. Do you know what I mean? And then I heard about a week later, he killed himself in a car with I think it was a generator. Yeah, okay. And he put a generator and he killed himself. So he was actually asking me to help him kill himself, and I wasn't interested. But I asked him again then. I went, "You know, you told me about John Hall killing himself in jail. Did he kill himself?" And he went, "Yeah, he did 100%. I was like, "You're not just saying that to me, are you?" He went, "Nah." So in my head, I put it to rest. Since I've been writing the book, so you've got to understand, I can't find out whether he's alive or not because I know what I'm capable of doing. Yeah. So I can't.
And there's probably 1,000 John Halls out there as well.
Well, I said, so Jay is writing a book. He has been trying to find out whether he's alive or not. And I said to him, I don't want to fucking know. Okay. Because if he is, I know I can find him in 24 hours. Yeah. Knowing who I am and what I'm connected to, I know for a fact in 24 hours I'll find out where he is, where he's been living. I can find that out. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We've got people that will find that out. Yeah. So I know I'll find out. I know what I'll do. There'll be no life for me left. So I don't want to know. Yeah. I've just got married to my wife and I'm not interested in that kind of life. I need to move on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm putting a thing together now in a positive things because this has been quite an emotional, like I'm to talk about stuff. I'm struggling to breathe.
You're doing really well.
So at the moment I'm putting this thing together like where I'm going to do like online counselling. Yeah. I've been like, there's a company that I've been talking to and they were like, "Oh my God, when your book's out and this is happening," to help people like what I've been through, you know, abuse, stabbings, boarding schools, children's homes, that kind of stuff, mental health, panic attacks, especially panic attacks.
Do you know there's an amazing website out there called Jack?
No.
JAAQ.org, justaskaquestion.org. Okay. It's phenomenal. All mental health, but it's done in a way like if people wanted to commit suicide or they got depressed or they got anxiety or whatever, people normally write it in Google and loads of pages of black and white writing. It doesn't have to. This company called Jack, JAAQ.org, I've done it in a masterclass where it's video, where someone's been recorded who's been there and got the t-shirt teaching you about these things.
That's good.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's the best mental health I've seen in my life.
There, is it?
Yeah, there's people. It's all pre-recorded. So you could type in pre-recorded. A video comes up and there's 20 questions. You click that question. That person's already pre-recorded the answer to help people. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah. Anyone out there listening, jack.org. It literally is phenomenal. It's a game changer. Yeah. This is a game changer worldwide. What's going on right now?
Good, yeah. Because I was going to put it together because I want to go traveling. Yeah. I was going to get like a Zoom calls. Like so people can have a Zoom call with me. And
like good for you.
So I've done two recently. One guy got me on, there's two people recently. One guy's got me on Facebook and he's like, "Listen, I know your story, this, that and the other. Can you help me? What do you reckon? Blah, blah, X, Y, Z. And I helped him right through it and now he's doing all right.
Good for you, mate.
Done another girl. She was like cutting her ears and stuff like that. She's in a really bad place and I helped her out. She's doing really well now. And she's like, coming from me. And I thought to myself, well, if I can help them, I can help someone else.
You can help a lot of people, man.
I helped a homeless guy once. This was actually like a heartbreaking story. He was on the street. I spoke to him the other day, actually. He was on the street in Staines. And he'd have no problem talking about it either. And I went past him and something told me to help him. And I walked back. I was like, oh. So I turned around and I goes, "What's your story, mate?" And he went, "What?" And I went, "What's your story? Why are you here?" So why have I been drawn to you? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And he goes, well, I was with my missus and she kicked me out. I'm on the streets. The cancer won't help me. I said, oh, all right, cool. And he had quite a sad story. He goes, you on drugs? He went, no, I'm not on drugs. I just smoke a bit of weed and I drink a bit of alcohol because it's freezing. I was like, all right, cool. I said, tomorrow I'm going to change your life. He was like, oh, mate, whatever. And he didn't believe me. I went home. I come back the next morning. I went, listen, come on, mate, get your stuff. We're going. He went, where are you going? That night, if he didn't know, I'd gone on Facebook and said, I need a labouring job ASAP. Got my mate, like, it was about 10. Spoke to my pal. Can you get him work? Yeah, cool. Anyone got a place to rent? Yeah, cool. So I went and paid 6 months upfront rent for this guy. So for half a year, he ain't got to worry about rent. I got him a job instantly. The next day, I got him a haircut, shave, all the rest of it, blah, blah. Put him in the house. I said to him, now, don't you dare say that no one helped you.
Yeah.
Now, if you fuck this, you only got yourself to blame. Yeah. Don't blame the system. Don't blame your ex-missus. Someone's looking down on you because this has happened. Anyway, about 3 days later, we get a picture. He's in a suit with a seat briefcase and he's doing really well.
Quality.
I spoke to him. This was about 4 years ago. I spoke to him 3 days ago because I got married and he just congratulated me. He's just married his missus. He's got 2 kids, twins, and he's moved in with her and had the best life ever. 4 years ago. Changed his whole life.
That is massive respect.
Changed his whole life.
Mate, amazing.
Yeah, I spoke to him the other day.
How nice is that?
But I didn't put anything on social media.
Yeah.
Because I ain't like that.
Yeah.
I've done it out of my heart. I didn't do it for views.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That's powerful, Steve.
Well, I was saying to my pal, if everyone, instead of putting a McDonald's in front of their hands or giving them food, if everyone that put together, chipped a bit of money, done what I'd done, gave them a chance, then if they fuck it up, it's their own fault.
Them, yeah.
The council won't do it. Do you know what I mean? They'll just go, we'll give you a place here in a hostel where all the drugs are, where every bit of drug you can think of is there, and biggest dealers in the world are there.
Did anything come on top, Steve, in your life when you went, I'm close to losing my life right now?
Like in what kind of situation?
Just that when you were going robbing dealers, there must have been a backlash somewhere. I know that you're become a big face around the UK, it's known as Crazy Steve. There must have been a point where you've gone, something's come on top. I'm not happy about this. I think I'm close to losing my life.
There's once proper, I got hit put on me. And the funniest story in the world, you'd actually laugh your head off. I get a phone call from Tuffy, because he is a hitman. That's what he is. He's a fucking lunatic. And he happens to be my best mate. So I've always had him as backup.
Yeah.
And Carlton, obviously, because the firm as well. But Tuffy's been like my father figure was best mate.
Yeah.
And I get a phone call from him going, yeah, you're right, crazy. I goes, yeah, you're right. Because he used to call me crazy. He didn't call me anything but crazy. I said, yeah, you're right, mate. He goes, I need you to find someone for me. I swear, I went, yeah, what's that? He went, it's a guy called Stephen Lestrange in your area, blah, blah, blah. I started laughing. I goes, you prick, go on, what's up? He went, no, good money on this one. Find him. We get a good bit of money out of this. I said, what the fuck? I'm not joking. I was like, that's me. And he went, what? I went, that's me you didn't like. He went, what do you mean it's you? I went, it's fucking me. He went, fuck off. He goes, I'm coming there now. Where are you? So he come met me. I goes, all right, what's going on? He went, you ain't going to believe this. So some guy, they had a big, massive grow going on. Huge grow. And he thought I robbed it. And I actually didn't. And that's genuinely like on my life and never. So we found out it wasn't the end. But I got fucking 50 grand put on my head to get me shot. And
Tuffy didn't even know you were
and he was doing
Lestrange.
He was doing this. Who couldn't believe it? He couldn't put it together. So we ended up we dealt with it.
Got halves on 25 each.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's what happened.
Wow.
It had to happen.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to the person, blah, blah, it all got ironed out and he had to pay the money.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I mean? And it was one of them ones. And I was like, what? I was shocked. I was like, you're going to kill me? I didn't even do anything. You know what I mean? I was thinking, if I'd done it, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we'd have probably set it up so we got more money. But
what was your relationship like with Carlton over the years?
Me and Carlton have been really good friends.
Yeah.
So like really good
He's
friends.
got a lot of time for you. Just on the phone to him a minute ago before we started. He's got a lot of time and respect for you.
Yeah, because I'm real. I don't talk shit. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people out there, like, there's so many people out there, like, are so two-faced. Yeah. They'll say something to your face and then they'll go and say it behind your back, or they'll try and hang off the back of you. Yeah. Like, I've known Carlton on 20 years and none of my mates even knew I was friends with him. Yeah. I don't sit there and go, oh, I know Carlton Leach, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Don't care. Yeah. I'm not that kind of fella. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's people like, where I was in serious clothes, there's people, one of my neighbours once, who lived near my mum, not going to mention names, who I actually fell out with a little bit. Like, I don't like the guy anymore, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he mentioned me, he goes, oh yeah, this guy around the corner had Dave Courtney go around his house. And he goes, imagine that, like I'm fucking stood around the corner and Dave Courtney's there. And he goes, he's a right gangster. And the guy thought he was a bit of a boy, do you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there and he thinks I'm just a normal average guy, like bit of a crazy fucker around the streets, not knowing that I'm actually a part of what's going on.
Yeah.
And I just didn't say anything. I listened, I went, oh yeah, what about that? And not knowing that I'm best mates with Carlton Leach, best mates with some of the biggest firm names out there. Yeah. And my best mate happens to be the Grim Reaper. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Like, and I don't say anything. Yeah. And to this podcast, you're probably thinking, oh my God. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And all my pals down there, they didn't have a clue. They've never known that my lot, who they are. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't say nothing. And then there's a couple of times when I've really got the hump with two people where I've really wanted to go the other way and go, let's just wrap them up. Yeah. I want this geezer because one of the guys I'm talking about now, he'd done a couple of things really disrespectful towards me. And I was going like that in my head, like 101. I was thinking, I'm going to fucking do this geezer. So I went and spoke to my pal, the Reaper, and he was like, leave it to me, I'll sort it. And I was like, and then in the end I was like, no, don't do it. Okay. Listen, forget it. My head's just going 100 miles an hour. Leave them. They'll just die miserable as fuck. Yeah. Forget that shit. I don't want it on my head. Do you know what I mean? And I've stopped it twice. There was another guy as well who really fucking was on me. When
you say on you, what do you mean on you?
Just giving it all large. Okay. Disrespecting you in a different way. Do you know what I mean? There was one guy that really disrespected me in a different way, and I didn't back it. And I should have gone round there. And then Colton's on the phone. I've got me wanting to go and do the fella, and I've got Colton this way ringing him up going, don't bother. Yeah. You're bigger than this. Yeah. They don't make you a big man. Yeah. What we got going on, let's earn some money. Let's get that out. Look, is that going to earn you any money? Yeah. That's going to put you in jail. Yeah. Forget it. So I'm like, cool, fine. So I left it. Do you know what I mean? And then a couple of times, I had one time when I was with my ex, with my kids, something happened around the house. And then someone goes, oh yeah, fucking, started getting all big spuds about it to me. And I left it and I moved away. And then I broke up with her. And when I come back, the first thing I'd done was ring my pal and go around her house now and tell him I'm fucking doing it right now. And my mate went round there. He's like, you've got to go and meet him for a scrap. I was like, you and your fucking dad get round and fucking on and smash the pair of your fucking heads in. Because my head was going cuckoo. Yeah. I couldn't cope with it. You know, when someone mugs you off, your head goes 100 miles an hour. I'd rather die. I'd rather die than
that's a dangerous man.
Yeah.
Someone say I'd rather die.
Yeah. I said this recently with someone. I was having a row. I was like, the only thing it's going to be is me dying or you dying. Yeah. I'm not into fucking sitting there and having a scrap. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to go the other way. Do you know what I mean?
At what age? You said you were peaking at 27. When did you start to calm down? You're 43 today. What year?
33. About 10 years ago.
33. Okay. Yeah.
33.
What was the turning point to say I can't carry on like this?
I'll tell you, it's the funniest story in the world. I just had a massive punch up with some local bad boy in my area. He came in my house and tried weighing me in my house, and I fucking headbutted the shit out of him. Pulled a meat cleaver out, was going to chop him up, and he ran out of my house, and I chopped his car. I was chopping his car as he was driving off. I don't know even how he managed to get his car that quick. But everyone that knows me knows I'm shit at running. I'm crap. I can't run for shit. I can jog for miles. I can't sprint. I don't know. I'd fall over. But anyway, I managed to. I got over my gate, and I had a Doberman then as well, and he's going to fuck it anyway. Cut the story short. I was chopping at his car, and he managed to drive off. And oh, you fucker! And then that morning after that had happened, obviously I got quite badly beat up and whatever. And I was hanging out my house because I used to drink brandy flat out. I'd having parties and whatnot. And I think 3 or 4 days before that, I'd smashed my sister Rachel's house completely to pieces and beat everyone up in it and whatnot.
Why?
Just because some of the guys was in the house, and me being me, so he was smoking a spliff outside the house, but the kids were upstairs in the top. Yeah. And I was like, you don't just smoke spliffs in my sister's house. But then I done worse because I went in there and beat the whole house to pieces and beat all the boys up and smashed all of our furniture up. So who's the mark? Me, really? Because now my kids have just been witnessed massive violence. When really at the time I was thinking I was like, oh, he done this. And she goes, what did you just do? Yeah. You just smashed my kid's whole house up. So I was like, fuck yeah. Because all I knew was violence. Do you know what I mean?
Was that the turning point when you said, I've got to stop?
No, I'll tell you what happened. This is gospel truth. I was sat in my house in my front room, and this is always spoke about to this day. And I was on the move with Tuffy. I was earning money flat out. I was doing some serious shit, and I didn't care. And I'd done a job, and the guy was crying his eyes out. And I knew that I got this thing. I know when someone's chatting shit or not, when they're lying or not. Yeah. Sorry to say that. And I knew he didn't do it, but we'd been paid to do a job. Yeah. And I was like, shit. And then he was crying his eyes out. He was like, please, please, no. And I was like, and it fucked my head up because I thought back to being tortured when I was a kid, when I had that shit going on. I was like, please, mum, help me. I kind of had that trigger. I was like, I ain't fucking doing this. I ain't doing it. It's like, well, we got to. And I was like, no, I ain't fucking doing it. He ain't lying. I can tell when he's lying. I can tell a liar. Just been around wrong ones my whole life.
Yeah.
So I left it. And then I smashed my sister's house up. Like after that, my whole life was just going mental. And in the end, I was sat in my front room in my bungalow I had, and I was sat there, and my door knocked. It was my mum. I hadn't spoken to mum in ages, apart from she tried to get me banged up, fucking nut house from smashing my sister's house up. And she came in, she sat down on the sofa, and like she was like really upset and that. She was like, look, can you please stop? You're going to get killed, or you're going to kill yourself, or you're going to get locked up for life. And I don't think I can cope anymore. Like, genuinely can't cope. And she sat there, and I was like, the weirdest thing happened in my life. I can't even explain how it happened. And I just sat there and went, all right, cool, don't worry about it. So I goes, well, take all my drink, I was smoking at the time, so take my fags. I had like a bit of gear on the side, I just fucking chucked it in the bin. I was like, go on, take all that, take it with me. She goes, no, Steve, come on. I went, do you want to or not? She was like, yeah. I went, well, take it. And all right, cool, I'll sort my life out. She thought I was chatting shit. So she took all the backy and that and all the fags, took all my drink. I had about 30 bottles of champagnes and shot vodkas. I had the lot up there. And then, and that was it. That day, I never, ever, ever, just like that, I never smoked, never drank, never took drugs, nothing ever since. And she'd walked out of the house, and my mum, we was talking about a barbecue about last year. Literally last year, there was a barbecue, sat down, and my mum was like, we can't believe like how, everyone talks about it when they're about saying how I, just like that, stopped drinking, stopped smoking, everything like that. Because every time I used to drink, I go psychotic. If I drunk, I'll get locked up. It's as simple as that.
When you say every time you used to drink, you go psychotic. Give me an example.
Glassing people, smashing people up, headbutting the fuck out of people, getting my car, driving my car into people, running them off the roads. Like I'll just get in a car, like just say for instance, I'll say a rough incident, so there's no incidents for the police. I was in a car, I just beat a load of boys up. They then come in their car with baseball bats and bars and all the rest of it. So I jumped in my car quickly, and as they've like gone round, I've then took off. I've gone flying down the road, turned around, come back around the other way, and I've just drove my car straight into the side of them. I've put them literally in a ditch. And as they're going in the ditch, I pulled my handbrake up, jumped out of the car, and I started smashing them up in their car. Got back in my car and drove off. Then I'm getting phone calls from my sister. Everybody, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, who the fuck do you think they are? Do you know what I mean? But I'm smashed out, me ain't going up my nut.
Wow.
That's the kind of stuff I was doing all the time. I just go mad.
So could you lose the plot? Obviously, you say you can lose the plot in 2 seconds. Can you lose the plot in 2 seconds sober?
Depends.
If someone is in the cinema queue and you're 8 back and you see someone two lads blatantly push to the front of the queue, you'd let that go?
Completely.
Yeah. What's another example that
threat to my family?
Okay.
If you fuck with my family, then there's a serious situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't give a fuck. That's why I don't care anymore. I don't care about anything anymore. There was this incident not long ago, literally recently.
You say you don't care. You don't care from the age of 33 that you're like, you don't care anything naughty's going on. No. You're happy now. You're calm the last 10 years. Yeah. What was the incident you just mentioned then?
So there was an incident not long ago where someone was going around my ex-missus' house, and I happened to pick the phone up and say, blah, 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 blah. If you do, it'll be the worst mistake you ever made in your life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It ain't going to happen. My kids and my life, do you know what I mean? And there was another incident where I got on the phone to someone, my other kid. He said something, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I've always liked you. Just do me a favour. Don't fucking say. Basically, something was said to my daughter, and I heard it was on loudspeaker. And I've never had a problem with this guy.
Yeah. And
I just grabbed the phone. I was like, listen to me very carefully. You're in Essex. I shouldn't really say that. You cut that out.
Yeah, cut that out. Sorry. You're in beep. Just beep that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then literally I was like, I know where you are. Don't ever speak to my daughter like that.
Yeah.
I said, I like you.
Yeah.
But what you've just said was disgusting to my daughter. Blah, 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 blah. And then it was a case of like, I was like, I swear to you, if you think you're going to go there and say that, I will come for you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Don't fucking say that to my daughter. Simple as that. And it was a little bit more rougher talking than that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're not even together. He's just fucked off.
He's gone, is he?
But yeah, because I'm not joking.
You know what? I'm not surprised he's done the Houdini. Get me out of here.
But it was kind of one of them ones where, like, I don't like, it's when my family's involved, I go mad.
Yeah.
Like,
How many daughters and sons you got?
I've got 6 kids. I don't see 3 of them. She took me to, so this is another one. Like, I've done my book because I don't see my kids. That's one of the reasons I've done my book. So they can understand who I am, what I've been through.
Yeah.
So I was with my ex when I've got 2 boys and a girl with her, Riley, Tommy and Lily. And I was with her for like whatever many years. And this is like, I tell this to everyone. Back then, I was a nutter. I didn't care about women or men. It was just, I never hit my girls, but I was horrible with my mouth. I was like really horrible. I'd say, shit, fucking, you should be kind of horrible. Like, I was really bad with my mouth and I didn't realise how to have a relationship. I shouldn't have really been in relationships, but because I didn't understand, it is what it is. And I've said to everyone, my ex, we've got the mother of my kids, was actually a really good woman. She'd never done anything bad towards me. It was me that was the aggressor. Not like it's in like I'd fight her. Like I would always be out pissing it up, birds and whatnot. I didn't care. I mean, I was just like, my life didn't revolve around the whole family stuff because I always thought, no matter, I self-sabotaged my life. I would always be like, oh, well, it's going to fuck up anyway, so I might as well destroy it anyway. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I kind of looked at my whole relationships until you grow up and think, fuck, like, what are you doing? But what happened is, she gave me 2 sons. I always wanted a boy. And she gave me the first one. The first time she was pregnant with Riley, and his name's Riley Stephen. I got Tommy Stephen, like, after my name. When I had Riley, it was like, oh my God, I can teach him to box. I can do, like, it was like one of them really good things. I was so happy I had a son. And then she fell pregnant, had another son. I was like a year apart. I've got 2 boys, Riley and Tommy. I'd teach them to box, blah, blah. And she's from quite a posh family. They're quite posh. We call them silver spoon people, do you know what I mean? But Sarah and her sister, they were actually decent, do you know what I mean? They were good people. I'm not saying I'm not going to sit and lie. They were actually good. And as far as like a girlfriend, like from being the mother of my kids and my missus, when I was with her, she was like really good. And I've said this to all my girlfriends I've been with recently. Like I've just been in an 8-year relationship with my other ex. And I said to her the whole way along, apart from anyone else, Sarah was actually the good one. She was the one that was so decent in the relationship that I fucked up, not her. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But what she'd done is, when I broke up with her, she took me to court to see the kids. And then she put me into a contact centre to see the kids. And I ended up fighting for my kids in court. Yeah. And this is why I really, really, like at the time I was hating her. But she obviously didn't understand me because I'm not going for the system again. Yeah. I'm a fucking good dad. Yeah. I am you see me with my kids now. I got my oldest kid, Amy. We've got a really good relationship. And I got my other 2 kids. I see all the time. And I FaceTimed them literally when I was out there before you got me. I was FaceTiming my kids because I love my kids. And it's a shame that I haven't got my other kids in my life because I love all my kids. So they were taken away from me. I was fighting for you in court, and I think the last time I heard someone say was that she was like, "Oh, we don't want to see him." I was like, what? You took me in court to fight for my kids, and the last court case they were bringing up stuff about kidnapping and guns, firearms and that sort of stuff, and being linked. I think the social services said to me about being linked with the IRA and the mafia and that because of who I'm linked to. Yeah. And they were pulling all this out at me, and I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, then, so I walked out of the courtroom because I didn't want them to say that you couldn't see your kids. So I just got up and went, stick the kids up your ass. And I walked out. Yeah. Anyway, so I gelled.
What roughly year was this?
This was, it's got to have been 12 years ago, 13 years ago, because
2010, 11?
Yeah, 11, yeah.
And you gave up booze and everything else in 2013?
Yeah. And I'd done it then. I'd had enough. And then so then I ain't seen my kids since. And I've sent messages. I've sent a massive essay to her sister saying, please, can you ask Sarah to let me see the kids, blah, blah, blah. And obviously I got ill twice, big time. Like I got ill badly. Well, I could have died. And I thought my kids are never going to meet me, never going to see me. Do you know what I mean? Is
this book for your kids to read to let them understand what you've gone through? Yeah. Because those kids won't know.
No, they don't know. No, they're going to know. Yeah.
And maybe even this podcast today might be something they may listen to.
Yeah. And I hope so. I hope later on they read and listen to my story. If I'm not here, if I do pass or whatever, at least they know that I love my kids.
Yeah.
Like, I love Riley, I love Tommy, I love Lily. I didn't get a chance to really have a relationship with Lily. She was young, do you know what I mean? But I had a relationship with Riley, and like, when I teach him to box, I take him out hunting. They were like, oh, you're such a bad person, because like, you know, there was like, you talk about that there was death and stuff and whatnot. But
when was it? When was it from your 43 today and 33 stop boozing? Was there a year when you said, I don't need to be active anymore?
When my mum walked into the house, I'd had enough. I'd had enough of everything, and it just took the worst thing for me. I think relationship-wise, 5 years ago, I changed, and I had enough of being the arsehole. Yeah. Which is late on in life, really. But I've had to deal with a lot of demons. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, when I wake up, my nightmare starts every fucking day. It's a nightmare.
Well, how are you today?
Well, I'm just the same as I've always been. Like, apart from the one good thing, I'm going to be completely honest, the one good thing that I've got out of my life now, I've just got married. I absolutely love my wife. Like, she's been my rock.
Yeah. What's her name?
Sophie.
Big shout out to Sophie, yeah.
Yeah, she's been
married to her last week?
Yeah, Carlton was best man.
Yeah, he was.
It was a beautiful wedding. Tucker was there. I had Steve Dossett, who's a 3-time world champion. He was my best man as well. Ash and Rudy, who's a world famous tattoo artist. They're all my best men.
Quality.
Like my brothers, do you know what I mean? They've been there through thick and thin with me. But yeah, so it's been really good. But Sophie's been like, I've told her everything about my whole past, about girls, about who I've been with, how I treated them, that I shouldn't have treated them the way I should never have treated Sarah the way I did. And I can apologise for that, do you know what I mean, genuinely, because I shouldn't have done.
So if someone phoned you up today and says, Steve, I've got a bit of work, is underground there.
I'm not interested. Yeah. Genuinely uninterested. I couldn't give a shit if it was £1 million. If it was £1 million, I don't care. I'm in such a good place mentally with my new missus and stuff like that. Like, genuinely, like, I am. I didn't think there was, like, I'm going to be honest now. And this is for people out there that are really struggling in relationships. I come out of a relationship that I shouldn't have been in for the last 4 years. And the relationship before that with Sarah, I shouldn't have really been in that. I shouldn't have been in them relationships because I was quite toxic. And I'm a big man, I admit it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not an arsehole like that. So I shouldn't have done it, and I can apologise online, like on there, that I should never have done some of the stuff I'd done with my mouth, the way I spoke to him and stuff like that. It was fucking wrong. But it's taught me a valuable lesson. I always sabotage my relationships because I never really felt like I was in love. I never felt loved back from them. Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing, if I ever felt disloyal at any time, I would hold on to that. I'd accelerate that disloyalness until it really fucked me up, until I thought, like, you are so poison. Yeah. But really, it's just something stupid. Yeah. But I'd accelerate it. When I never believed in love, I'll be completely honest with you. Considering my past, I thought love was complete bullshit. I thought you fall for looks and like you quite like a nice good looking girl on your arm and stuff like that. You sort of like love them, but not in love. I don't think there was like an in love thing. I remember my mum and dad saying to me, because they're still together, you know, when you know, I was like, shut up, you're talking shit, you were born in the old days, you know what I mean, that crap. When I met Sophie, I didn't fancy her, nothing like, I didn't fancy her, nothing. We worked with each other for like a year and a half. Didn't fancy her enough, and I was going through like a lot of stuff with my past relationship, and I was just like, my head was just messed, and I'll never forget this day, today I die, I swear to you. I'd had enough. I had loads of stuff going illness-wise in my body. Like I was going through like hospital appointments and stuff like that. I was really ill. And then I was just like, I was breaking up from a relationship. I was really ill, blah, blah. And I went back to the yard. It was pissing with rain. It was pitch black. And I literally screamed at the clouds. I put my hands together and I prayed. I was like, just take me. I've had enough. Like, I'm sick of it. And I prayed to God. I was like, God, please, I've had enough. Just do what you got to do. Like, take me, like, kill me. I had it, I'm done with it all. Ill, can't see my broken homes. I hate broken homes. Anyway, so next minute I'm literally there. It's pissing with rain. Sophie walks in. She goes into the container where I was like staying, gets all my clothes. She had a place next door. She gets all my clothes and just goes out. She heard me crying. She goes out, she walks into the chalet and just starts cleaning my clothes. So I sort of think, oh, sort yourself out, Steve, because I don't like, if people see me cry, I see it as a weakness, bad. And so then, obviously, I was at rock bottom, had enough. I was just so drained of life after the shit that had gone on. And she come back down and she goes, I'll just run you a bath. You don't have to have it. You can have it if you want. I was like, I was freezing. I thought I could do a bath. So I went in and I thought, well, I'm single, I'll do what I want. Found out my ex was talking to someone else. So for me, I was like, fuck it. Like, what else is there? Like, I ain't got nothing to hide now. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what it is. So I went in there and went into the bathroom and obviously had a bath. Come out and she made me some food. She made me a drink. And I was like, and I just sat on the sofa and then she just rubbed my feet and I went to sleep. And I don't usually sleep like that. And then she rubbed my feet and I woke up in the morning at like 7 o'clock. I had the best sleep ever because I'd been looked after, kind of like motherly love. And I was sitting there and I was just like, whoa. For the first time, I looked and I thought, nah, don't look like that. So then I didn't look at it like that. And I had hospital appointments where I was having blood tests and scans and stuff and like testicle stuff going on. Then I got a bus to Winchester Hospital and I was sat in Winchester Hospital and literally as I was sat there, I was like, yeah, Sophie rang me and I was like, yeah, you're right. And she goes, yeah, what are you doing? I goes, oh, I'm at the hospital. She goes, oh, what time about? I said, whatever time the bus is. She was like, what? She goes, where's your car? And I was like, oh, anyway. So I comes out like an hour and a half later after my stuff and she's sat in the car park. And I'm like, all right. So I goes and gets in the car and she drives me home. I didn't have a car at the time. Anyway, then every single appointment, everything that happened after that, she come with me. She was waiting in the 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, just sat there. Just no kissing, cuddling. It was just, she was just there.
Yeah, supporting me
on another level, like literally. And I'll tell you what, I never in a million years thought that I would have gone for Sophie. She, for me, like I always like the like real pretty, when she's pretty, but like, you know, like done up, like supermodel-y girls, you know, walk down the street thinking you're all that. But she showed me her heart first. And I fell in love with her heart. And I swear to you, I fell in love with this girl. And all my family know this. They're like, oh my God, Steve's in love. They're like, what? And everyone's like, crazy, Steve's in love. What the? Like, I kissed her in public. I don't kiss anyone in public. There's things I don't do and I've done with her. I've gone out of her on another level. And like, she's literally shown me like that there is love out there. Do you know what I mean? So when you're sitting at home and like, I kind of think that if you, just for the public, if you're out there and you think, oh, I can't find love, blah, blah, there's no girls out there for me, maybe you're looking at the wrong girls. Do you know what I mean? Think like, I found a heart and I fell in love with it. And I swear I married her. I married her. I swear I absolutely love her to pieces.
That's amazing.
Genuinely, like, and she changed my life.
Yeah. That's
like,
amazing.
Genuinely, like, I feel good. I feel happy. I wake up happy. I go to bed happy. Just never no round. If we're anything, we just talk.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
If when you wake up in the morning, you got these demons going on, can you talk to her?
Yeah.
To release that and go, I'm free now.
Yep.
I've got it off my chest.
Yep. Well, I told her the other day about getting the hard on thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fucking hard for me.
Yeah.
And it's I just said it in public.
Yeah.
But she was like, it's fine. I didn't know what she was going to think of me. Do you know what I mean? And she was like, no, it's fine. She goes, it's just obviously a trigger, Steve.
Before we finish up, Steve, is there anything you got to say to your 3 kids?
I love them. Don't get me started. You fucker. Yeah, I love them to pieces. I just wish I could see them. You fucking are. I was doing really well then.
Steve, this has been an eventful life you've lived.
There's fucking loads more.
And there's loads more. I know there's loads more.
The book, a lot of it's in the book.
Where can people find this book? What's Amazon. It called? It's called
Alone. On my phone, Alone with Crazy Steve. Alone by Crazy, or Alone with Crazy. But it's called Alone with Crazy Steve. Yeah. It's on Amazon. So yeah, they can go.
And I know everything's inside that. Yeah. And it took you 2 years to write that, of not wanting to do it. Yes,
yeah,
want to do it,
I didn't want to do it. Yeah. I wanted to stop it, and then I started it, and Jay was like, please, can we finish this book, please? And I was like, Jay, I said, I can't mentally cope with this book. It's mentally affecting my life. Yeah. That book, since that book's being wrote, I've had an 8-year relationship that's failed. Yeah. I've had illnesses. I've had like really, I mean, you ask Jay, every week there was something going on, and drama. Like, I've had to stop it, start it, stop it, start it, the whole that book. And like Jay said to me, this book, you can't turn your back on this book. He said, this book is, he said, it's mad. It's not, this book is just like, he said he's never wrote a book like it in his life. He said, it's like so powerful. It's so upsetting. He said, I've cried 3 times. Yeah. The book is so powerful. But I think when a book's wrote with heart and tears and blood, you know, that kind of stuff, it means a lot. Yeah. And I think like, see, there's a reason I call it Alone. When we finish up, I called it Alone because every single time in my life when I've been in a certain place, whether it's been from when things were happening to me in school, from when I was in the children's homes, to when anywhere, any situation, I've been on my own, and I've been alone in my soul and my head and my brain. I'm alone. And I know, and this is another thing just while we wrap it up, this goes to every single person out there, whether you're from a posh family, whether you're from the council estates, whether you're from different countries, every single person that goes through mental health, it don't matter. I said this to my pal the other day. If you're like from a really rich family and you've got 20 cars, a massive house, why do some of them kids kill themselves?
Yeah.
And I was thinking it loads when like before. Why do they hang themselves or go and do an overdose? Because you can have everything, but if you ain't got love, which I've only just experienced now through my missus, if you ain't got love, like I said, take me, I'm done. I literally screamed in the yard. I've had enough. Because what is there? If you ain't got, if your parents, if you don't feel love from your parents, like if you're, I mean, different for me because I come through the Bronx, but like into like one of them posh families, that could mean like something little like that could be so accelerated and powerful to that kid. It must, because he's got everything, it might mean so much to him
more,
just for them to say that they love it.
Yeah.
So mental health, just because I've heard people say this and it's actually pissed me off. I've heard someone say, he's got 10 cars, he's got loads of money. What's he got? Well, come to our house. We got fuck all.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. You don't know what's going through his head.
100%.
Just because he's got all that does not mean his brain up here is wired up. The brains are the same.
Yeah.
So his mental health is the same as yours. Just so he could have 20 cars, you could have nothing. The mental health is exactly the same. So I don't like stuff like that. If no matter where you come from, if you're dealing with mental health, I feel sorry for you and I'll take my hat off to you. Do you know what I mean? And I hope that you can get through it. If you suffer with panic attacks, fucking hell, that's like, I feel sorry for you, like on another level, because panic attacks for me, health panic attacks, like health anxiety, where like I used to walk around with a blood pressure machine, ECG machine, oxygen machine. I'd sit outside the hospital. I'm having a heart attack. I'm fucking like, I was just, and that all stems from the trauma. Yeah. All that drama you have from back in the kids and all what you're going on. Your body just starts to shut itself down. It doesn't know what it's doing. But if you have panic attacks, like, I feel for you so much. Yeah. I think panic attacks for me, if people have them, are the worst. Because you genuinely think you're dying. Yeah. And it's real. People say, oh yeah, shut up in a panic attack. No, chin up, shut up. Yeah. Nah, you shut up. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have a fight with you than a fucking panic attack. Do you know what I mean? Genuinely. And that's my life. That's where mental health is so big. Yeah. And this is where like everyone goes through life with mental health problems. And it depends who's got accelerated ones or not. Because you could have stresses and people go, what's mental health? Well, it doesn't matter if it's mental health or not. Your mental health and your stresses, you still got to deal with that. And that's still weight on your shoulders. Same as anyone else. Like anyone else out there that's got mental health to deal with. It's on their shoulders and they have to deal with that every single day. Mine, obviously, it's accelerated so much that I make up and my nightmare starts every day. I wake up and my head is just, it hurts. Do you know what I mean? I'm always dizzy. I'm always like, it's that kind of stuff.
Steve, this has been really powerful.
Yeah.
I thank you for your honesty.
Yeah, that's all right.
Because you've just laid all cards on the table there. Yeah. That is really brave of you. What you've gone through, mate, and where you are now, I'm so happy for you. You found your missus and married and found love with her.
Yeah, can't wait to go and see the world now.
Mate, going travelling now. I really do appreciate you coming on and sharing.
Yeah, I appreciate that as well. Dodge, you've been a legend, mate.
Yeah, mate. Good man.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Enjoyed that. Cheers, mate.